Seems like you can't get enough of this thing.
I gotta say, I don't say this to everybody, but I'm in love.
Aw, I'm so glad you're in love with me.
Mm-hmm. And also, I'm passionate about this car. Got the floors in.
Good answer.
We're working towards the back end. Today we have a lot of structure to go in underneath the sheet metal. It's tubing and plate, stuff great cars are made of, and also my amazing preformed trunk section. All that today, right after this. We got the floors temporarily, not temporarily, we got the floors permanently tack welded in place. So there's some structure I still want to add. We're having trouble with the lighting at our last film event. So hopefully it's not too dark, but our LED light was just messing with me bad. So apologies if it's not the brightest video because we are inside. I'm gonna work on this and you could try to get an angle on it. So I got these 2 1/8" plates. From that angle, you can see the leaf springs are coming forward, and I keep mentioning this. I may convert it to a 3 or 4 link back here. It's going to be on airbags regardless. This upright here, I mean, imagine the force when you step on the accelerator. You know, the rear axle is pushing the car forward, right? I mean, that's how it works. So it's pushing on this. So that is not that it's gonna come off, but if it was, that would be horrible. So I was thinking a way to triangulate to come from here back into the C-notch, which is all fully plated in now. The chassis is plated all the way back. So with these plates, put it there. You see where it's going? It's got a nice shot right back. It really reinforced this whole thing all the way down. So I'm going to tack these in first and move on to the next. I'll start on this side because that's what we were talking about. And there's going to be a lot of up and down today. Under the car and back out. Set this in place. There, I like that. Come in with that. And lock it. I'll do that to both sides and then commence welding. We got our welder set on 230 and 17. We had a lot of discussion on that in the live, and I am happy to repeat the information again and again because so many people ask. It's the only reason that statement may seem redundant. Quick hit on the bottom.
I still don't understand how you don't get claustrophobia underneath the car.
Years of doing this. Sometimes I'm in there and I'm just like, I can't roll over.
Oh my gosh.
And the hardest is when you're trying to adjust yourself and you just can't. You're locked in.
Better.
Actually, the hardest is if you get burned and you can't move out of position.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday.
You're like, ow!
I would freak out.
That's why with the creeper, I'm able to stay up on these wheels and no sparks come rolling under me, usually. All right, now I am no engineer, Something in my gut tells me once that's fully welded, that ain't going nowhere. Because again, you know, the thrust of the suspension under the extreme force of this V8 engine is going to, right? So it's literally pulling on this and shoving the chassis forward. I say it's going to stick. One thing, again, this is not a drag car, but on drag race cars, you'll see if they get on it at the starting line in a drag race, the car will torque and twist. It'll twist the frame and the chassis. So not that this is going to do that, but with this large offset in the C-notch, that potential is increased because you just have a lot more material. So we're going to connect across the top here for two reasons. One being that aforementioned potential to twist, and airbags are going to live in here to hold the car up. So I got this 1.5-inch tube, square, 1/8 wall.
So what you're saying is, if I want to put the pedal to the metal, it's not going to twist.
Not on my watch.
If I'm driving it like I stole it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So part of my modus operandi in this whole thing was not backing myself into a corner and not digging a hole I can't get out of, and sort of working through and then capping it. So that's why I waited till this point. This will be the last piece to go in on this side of the package tray. Did I say that?
Wow.
So you can see, it's going to set in just like that. Got a pesky weld in the way. Got a little potential issue right here.
Oh, so you had to cut it out and
Yeah, there was a little weld in the way on this passenger side. So this is structural. That's why I'm welding all the way through so I don't get trapped out of this area with sheet metal later. Whereas the other one I'll be able to access because it's showing. Get a big old hammer. I think our lunch is almost here.
The Mojave Spaceport train.
Some would consider that a tight fit.
Yeah, the structure looks nice.
Thank you. Yeah, all that will only help in the end should we change this. One thing that's bugging me, and you know, I don't remember if Tom told me that if this car that the springs came out of, or was it an accident? But can you see how tilted this one is?
Yes,
Look
I
at it
can
right-
now.
It looks like it's twisted.
Yeah, it does.
And you know, all my mounts were set up, but once I put weight on the car, it took a twist. And the fact that it doesn't have the little buttons to position the axle and this twist, I'm thinking, so monoleafs are reasonably expensive, and I have a kit for the suspension already to do a 3-link. Maybe I'll just do that. Just trying to keep it real simple. And remember, I went in and cut all this out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I could put it back in, but it's just, yeah, 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes. So I think what we're gonna do is try to put my trunk pan in. Last time we looked at this, in regard to that installation, there was a bunch of material hanging out in here. I went and trimmed it all back to the bare necessities. One thing we're gonna have to consider is how to attach this. It may fall in through the top now, but I remember we were successful putting it in. A wrestling match. I have to go back to the videotape. How did we do this? Brought it up, and I know I like bent it into place. That's the cool thing about having your own YouTube channel. It's like an archive of things past. Here's the scene. Let's all follow along. This is what we're experiencing right now.
Deco cars. Really narrow in the back.
So that didn't work.
Welcome to my world.
Ian's
I
frustration.
would prefer to cut this in half and
So it came in from underneath.
Yeah, it's gonna cut that out.
I cut that out.
Disc in there.
So it looks like it went in.
Entire trunk floor out, and just drop the leaf springs. It'll rise up through there. Oh, yeah, it will.
Decision.
Ah,
Ninja.
there it is. So it went up and
That's why I
in.
say hiya.
That's why I say hi.
So that is why I named the videos what I named the videos. So in case Ian has to go back.
Because I was about to go to that whole wrestling match.
Go
all
back
over again.
and look at something again. Anyway. Future self looking out for past selves, or past selves looking out for future selves.
The instruction manual states. Oh boy, there it is. Yeah, okay. So we got a couple things. I cut these braces out here. That's what this notch was for. But that's okay because we'll make a new bottom for that. That will plug in over that part. That's cool. And it looks like I have to do some trimming because if those leaf springs do stay, then this is hitting right there. But yeah, let's do that. Let's mark that out. Get the red shears. And we have a lot of concerned people with this rigidized trunk pan, but
You mean the corrugated metal?
it's rigidized. See if I can sneak this down. A little access. Sweet. All right, I like this right there. Cool. So that's landing on that shelf. And now I think I'm just gonna like push down on this after I tack this, because we needed this curve to get in the car. But let me cut that a little bit more. All right, let me get the welder. I'm gonna start by tacking it onto this piece here so I don't keep dropping it like that. I was welding on top of a really ancient weld and it was just vaporizing. It wasn't attaching. So now I think I'm going to stand in here and push down, because because I made this curved, and I want it to lay down on this chassis here. So I'm going to hop in, show you how corrugated steel works structurally.
Ah, yes.
See, I'm pushing that right down onto the frame, chassis, however you like to call it. Now I can clamp it. Actually, I can just push that down and attach. That's what I was saying about all this bending in the tin work. In case you gotta put something my size in the trunk, it's not gonna buckle the floor. And that will just go into place later once we figure out the air suspension. I'll just tag right in. Cool. So, looks like I dented that. Let me get my adjuster. So maybe you don't want somebody as big as me jumping around the trunk, just so further proof why corrugation is necessary. Let's bring it up just a little bit. Cool. All right, let's work on putting these braces back in. Now that that's looking good. All right, so this brace came off of here. This brace came off of here. So that was attached right like that. It wasn't. So not too far off the mark. Yeah, so let's make a new little landing spot for that. You know, we'll have to build this wall in, but we're going to decide what's happening here. That'll be easy to do. Let me get a piece of steel. All right, so take this. I'm just going to bring it in right to the... No, let's do that right to there. Actually, let's do this. Let's bring that in right to there. Chip that foam out. This is a big part of every car restoration, is all of this sealer they put in there. It's everywhere. Fortunately, the older the car, the more brittle it is, typically speaking. Yeah, like that. That's gonna go there. Wherever we land it, there it is. Like that. So we want to put this rib back in there. We're going to mark this like that. And then I think I'm just going to cut that off right there. This is up and that's down. This is going to be here. It's going to be here. That's going to get trimmed off. Let's put in the brake. Still have our lines from the last adventure.
That we do.
So we're going to put this in on our marks. Bada bing. Bada boom. Cool. Yeah. So that's gonna go like that. Keep losing where the heck this other weld was. There it is right there. spot weld this. Then I'm going to get my lever and I'm going to crunch this up and hammer that into shape. Get a little rod and I'm gonna double fill this right over the top. So the way I removed these brackets, see, it's kind of raw because they were welded inside and out. I took the grinding disc and just like went into the weld and removed some of the bracket as well. So to come back on that, I'm just gonna put this right over the top. Just gonna melt it right in. Like so. That off because there's a bunch of lead in the works in here. I'm trying not to affect any of that. I'm just going to keep my work to the inside and try not to dump all that metal lead out. That's what I was saying. That's all liquid right now, so I don't want to touch that again until it's totally cool. That's why I don't want to even try to like do a hard weld through that. So that lead is just going to pour out. See, it's just liquid.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So now we don't touch. So that's our story. Don't touch the liquid lead just yet. We're going to let this chill out, do the same to the other side, and that is our trunk floor story, as well as structural.